How's it going, filmsters, and welcome back to another ReelFlick. And this one's a special one because with the new Planet of the Apes movie out, I was just in that kind of gorilla, monkey, chimpanzee craze, and I thought I'd review something a little bit more primal today. I found this movie a while back that kind of fit the bill, but I was also a little surprised, really surprised, that it hasn't been reviewed at all, video-wise. I mean, seriously, you can search this on YouTube. Any review of it, it's non-existent, only on like forums or articles or that kind of bullshit. I mean, I seriously don't get it. It's James Franco being roommates with a gorilla. like what the fuck? Personally, I love James Franco. I think he's a great actor. Loved him in some good movies, some of my favorite movies. Love him when he's trying to kill his best friend. Love him when he's trying to get in with the widest family on earth. And even love him when he's trying to cut his own arm off. That is some dedication to art, man. So you can imagine how excited I was to see that he starred in this 2005 little indie film that not just that he only acted in it, but he also written it and directed it. His name is all over this project. So I just thought I should give my 2 cents about how this movie is and what I think about it. And it's James Franco with a gorilla. Like, seriously, what the fuck? But anyways, sit back and relax as we explore this man's brilliance with the ape. So the movie gives a short opening scene with a native flute welcome as we're introduced to our main character, Harry. He's an aspiring writer trying to work on his novel but can't seem to escape the distraction that is his family. Mom's working on a seahorse, son is bored, but the words are just calling Harry. He gives his son a baseball to play with, but regrets it once it breaks his wife's project, ending the scene in disappointment. Oh man, talk about some crazy family antics we could have with this one if they actually stuck around for more than one scene. I know, I'm surprised too, I am. But since I'm editing this, I can help you guys out. Alright, I'm gonna put up this one scene so you can say goodbye. Go on, say goodbye. Get one last look of these people before they are completely gone from the rest of the film. So, after our goodbyes, let's just jump right into the opening credits, handled by a chimpanzee. And I got the strangest feeling in the back of my mind because something tells me Franco is just a cover-up. This chimp right here is the real visionary. I mean, who else could write a complex narrative while also adding... We'll get to that. We find Harry packing up his one portrait and takes a cab to his studio apartment he rented for 6 months. This is probably the biggest point in the film that got me so worked up because he left his family behind to write. I mean, isn't that crazy? He's willing to sign a 6-month lease, brought over his one desk and chair, and isolate himself all for the sake of writing. I mean, I get it. Dedication to your work and all that jazz. But damn, was it really the solution? We can't really sympathize because we only had a short glimpse of his suburban life. And from this phone call, it doesn't seem like he has any marital problems at all.
Yes, I still love you. Yeah, the place is great, you know. It's an artist apartment for an artiste. My mother and I love each other. We're not getting divorced. Daddy just needs a little time to plan his own right now.
I'm just saying, headphones, Starbucks, Barnes & Nobles, there are better options than to just walk up and leave, especially for a reason like this. It's like if I moved to the caves or the sewers to film these videos because my light boxes will work so much better. Wait a minute! Harry begins to write, but is immediately stuck on 2 words, cueing in the primate with the hairy ass. And the reaction is just what you expect.
The ape. Ah! Oh shit! Hey, relax! Look, your name's Harry? I'm Harry too!
Help! There's a gorilla attacking me!
I'm not attacking you!
This ape is the highlight of the film. First of all, he's a talking gorilla. Like, come on. Second, he's a wisecracking gorilla.
Your master is dead? So, I think it's time to go back to the jungle.
The jungle? Shit, Harry. I wouldn't last a day in the jungle, man. I'm a fucking New Yorker.
Then why don't you just call up the zoo? You can make a reservation and check in.
The zoo. The fuck would I do in the zoo?
Third, he's super nice and likable. He's not an animal you will hate throughout this film. Just look at this scene when Harry's trying to report him to the police.
I'd like to report a break-in. Yeah, in progress. Address. It's Madison Street.
413.
What?
413.
Oh, it's 413 Madison Street.
Apartment 5B.
Apartment 5B.
The gorilla is great and does an awesome job playing off Harry's shrill nature on their first encounter. A majority of the jokes don't really hit hard since the delivery is stale, but at least some character is growing out between the two. That's all I could really ask for since they are the leading roles. They should be cared in some way. And if you think this gorilla is going anywhere, you'd be wrong. He's a binding part of that lease.
Tenant shall pay for all utilities, including but not limited to gas, electric, upkeep of the ape.
Pow! And that's binding.
Always check the terms and agreements, guys. I mean, you know, some fucked up landlord could just put an alligator in your bathtub and you would never even know that it was legal. Realizing he's screwed for the moment, Harry ignores the ape and writes anyway, which isn't made easy with the ape giving out wet willies and dissecting Harry's reasons for leaving, which we can all agree make much more sense.
I really admire you, man. Not every guy could leave his wife.
What?
Well, I mean, I figure she was a dog if you could go without it.
My wife is not a dog.
Oh, shit. Oh, she's a fatty?
No.
Yeah, I know. I mean, a very pretty face, but a body like a manatee.
My wife has a gorgeous body.
So what gives? Oh, unless, of course, you're playing for the team.
Huh?
Oh, shit. You a little light in the loafer's hair?
Oh, that's preposterous.
That's preposterous! Oh my God! This writing thing is just a front! Oh my God! You got married, you tried to do the right thing, but you couldn't stop thinking about cock! You had to have some cock!
Any of those reasons, way better than Harry's. Having enough for one day, Harry goes to sleep, taking a chest full of lukewarm gorilla feces that transitions to the film's head writer, I'm presuming, showing us how proud he was knowing this movie was being made. We're then brought to Harry's job in the phone company, walking with his co-worker Beth and explaining his not so complicated decision.
I decided to take a little time off from Judy and Billy and rented this apartment, so
You left your wife?
No, it's just
You
temporary.
jerk!
Now, you don't understand.
No,
It's
I
not-
understand. I understand that you took a vow, and then you got her pregnant, and now she's out there raising that kid by herself?
As right as she is, her character still comes off as really annoying in the attempt to be like Harry's Jiminy Cricket sort of deal. Which, congrats, it worked. Now get her out of my face! As for his job, Harry's not so dedicated. You will soon come to learn how pretentious Harry is about the arts and shows just how much he's willing to give up for a submission deadline with the New Yorker. He wants Beth to take over his work so he could write his novel, and the deal is sealed with a quality I always associate with Franco.
Come on.
Alright. I know.
The best.
I know.
God damn it, he's such a charmer. I mean, even back in 2005, he's got that Franco charm down. I mean, look at that debonair man go. Can't escape that wave of charisma. No way, no how. While talking more to Beth about how great a writer he'll be one day, his boss, Wide-Eyed Kathy, comes over to stomp on his dreams by deleting his work, which, let's be honest, he probably just wrote like 5 words this time. She's pretty one-dimensional by being just a boss lady being an obstacle for Harry to hurdle. Exhibit A, she makes him prepare for a motivational speech for the IT department, or he's fired. But the movie tries not to make her a total B. Beth explains the hypocrisy of Wide-Eyed Kathy spending her time on the Jewish dating site and the rumor of screwing Raoul the male guy for months. So no, she's not a B. She's a whore. The scene ends with Beth finding lice in Harry's hair, bringing us another glorious transition with the head writer resting his mind and body from the creative ideas that flow through his primitive mind. This right here is art. Harry returns to his apartment, finding the ape reading some of his work from college, getting a bit annoyed, and at points like these, it's easy to see how this doesn't succeed as a comedy. I mean, the jokes are really just flat and unoriginal most of the time.
What are you still doing here?
Oh, you know, as they say in the jungle, hanging.
Where were you when she showed up?
Oh, she must have just missed me. I had to step out for a business meeting.
You had a business meeting?
Yeah,
What kind of business?
monkey business.
I enjoy watching this for the moments that hit close to home and register with just about any artist, like the defensive passion Harry has for his work.
I never intended to publish this. I wrote it in college.
Oh, I know. You got a C+, which is better than average.
The teacher had a problem with me. She didn't understand where I was coming from.
And then we come to the moments where they're just casually talking about stuff like bros.
Man, my boss, she thinks she's such hot shit. She's all into this female empowerment thing.
Wait, your boss is a female, and she's trying to dominate you? Female would never dominate the male. The male just finds the female he wants, and he just takes her.
Well, in the human world, that's called rape. It's illegal. You can do some serious time for it.
You humans got a fucking rule for everything.
I can honestly say that this movie is kind of failing on the comedic side, but makes up for it in the deeper moments. After the ape gets a good meal out of Harry's head, he takes a seat and listens to a practice speech. I can't tell from this performance if Franco is holding back his acting or is legitimately feeling forced. All in all, it's a cringy scene.
Why isn't the IT department having a winning season? I want to see you guys succeed. I want to see you guys make it to the World Series of Telecommunication.
That was so gay.
Hey man, you said you'd be cool.
But there is this one funny bit about being an A or an S, but ends up with both of them being real ASS's to each other before Harry's wife calls. Apparently, she's going to Woodstock to sell pottery with Lester, that dude from the beginning, or better known as...
You're going with Lester? Oh, sorry, flies with eagles?
Flies with eagles? Are you No, I'm not gonna get into it. Mostly because shit gets pretty real really quick.
Why don't you support us?
I do support you. I just think Flies with Eagles is a fucking hack. I've seen his stuff. It's cliche. He's not gonna be one of the great potters of our time.
Well, at least he's making a living doing what he loves, which is more than I can say for you.
So, after feeling the lack of support from his wife, he miraculously still finds a way to sound pretentious. His passion is just too big for such a tragedy.
You know, all great artists are betrayed by those they love. This'll only help my writing.
He hangs up the phone with the ape claiming this as a victory and making this the start of a new change. Starting with work, we return to wide-eyed Kathy being picky about a potential date until Harry steps in to talk about the motivational speech that went
Hey, Harry?
okay.
In fact, I hear it was a disaster. You were preoccupied, bleary-eyed, could hardly string a sentence together. Oh, and when you were coherent, you kept insisting that you were an A and they were all S's?
See, that whole A&S bit thing was just between him and the gorilla. I seriously do not see why he had to bring that kind of baggage to work. Now Harry's just a human toilet taking all of Kathy's shit talk about him being a stain in the company until Harry decides that he just doesn't give a damn anymore and starts mocking Kathy's own pathetic life.
You're just hanging around, biding your time till someone comes along to play house with. You're just waiting for someone to give you the big MRS.
MRS?
Mrs. Gold Digger. You need a Jewish man that you might find on Rendezvous. Oh, don't be embarrassed, Kathy. Only the whole office knows. And Raoul in the mailroom was the best fuck I ever had.
I never put that in my profile.
You admit it!
Enough ridicule to make a grown woman cry.
Come on, I bet guys are all over you.
What, are you jealous, Harry?
Oh, well, I know where this is going. Wait! Okay, yeah. Fair warning, please. Continue. But seriously, real talk, it's not even that bad. The glass is foggy enough. But nevertheless, Harry has taken this role in the animal kingdom, if you know what I mean. And the horniness doesn't end there. Even the ape is squeezing one out to Animal Planet. But that's interrupted when Harry comes back home celebrating the fact that he cheated on his wife. Congrats, Harry. But the excitement doesn't stop here. Oh no. He finally found some drive to write. Which is kind of a funny payoff, because after hearing about how such a great writer he is, you finally get to see just how terrible He is at it.
The man was a tiger. His heart was like a rotten, withered tomato left too long in the fridge. It bears repeating that his heart was like the tomato we just spoke of. And when the dirty hand of life got too dirty, he slunk down to his lair to lick his wounds.
That blows, Harry!
Okay.
That blows!
So the ape lends a helping hand with Harry to write the first chapter to what sounds like an erotic novel the whole night. But hey, it's an accomplishment. Took 50 minutes of the whole movie's runtime, but at least something was accomplished now. Now they can freely howl into many, and I mean many, shots of the city before reaching the next scene with Beth traumatized by Harry having sex with Wide-Eyed Kathy. Personally, I think the movie could have done without this scene. In comparison to the previous scene, this one drags my attention to boredom. From a little time I had with Beth, she didn't need this much screen time. On the other hand, this IT guy Steve steals the scene. I love him. He's a great guy. I wish he was introduced early on and given more time. More than Beth. I wish Steve was Beth. But even here isn't enough because Beth starts preaching about the need for stability and how people just love to be grounded and keep natural surprises in control because living a normal, non-spontaneous life makes for a better life, a comfortable life, and brings out the best in people and...
God, that sounds so boring. I want to slit my wrist.
Thank you! Next scene. A cocky Harry comes in to work with Beth, grilling him about screwing Wide-Eyed Kathy. But he doesn't care. For all he knows, yesterday was a complete victory to him.
I love my wife, but I'm a man and I need to spread my seed.
You know, now that I've seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, that phrase has a whole different meaning now. With the jungle love overtaking him, Harry goes looking for Wide-Eyed Kathy, finding her in the break room. He tries to rekindle the heat before Wide-Eyed Kathy lays him off. Out of anger, Harry quits to pursue a full-time job in writing his novel, which brings up a valuable lesson I will teach you and you should always keep in mind. Under any circumstance, do not quit your day job. Don't be like Harry. Now jobless, Harry takes a depressing walk back to his apartment, finding comfort in his gorilla chum.
How's that feel?
It's not the same as my wife.
We just need a little time to learn each other's bodies.
Missing his home, he calls up his wife, only to find out that she knows about the affair from Beth and now wants a divorce.
Well, you know, it's not like I'm the only one who's screwing around. You're off with flies with eagles doing God knows what. He's gay. So's Kathy. She's a lesbian.
Well, if he didn't have a good reason to live here before, he does now. Now jobless and alone, all Harry has left is the ape. And after 3 months during the merry season of Christmas time, the two finally complete the erotic novel while also waiting for a response from the New Yorker about the first chapter. And you could definitely see what happened in 3 months. It is anything but cheery. Harry looks like he's growing into his own apish features. He's living off what's left of his savings, even blowing it all on a hairy blow-up doll for the ape, and just looking like the happiest guy on earth. This is just cruel, to build all this up for the moment of truth.
We regret to inform you that your short story, A Ravishing Tiger, has not been selected for publishing.
God damn it! It said if, Harry, if. Read it.
If you have any other material, don't bother sending it, you misogynist pig.
It's sad because the truth hurts so much. Harry blows up in the ape's face about how he was the reason his life went to shit, and this leads to a point where I believe the ape reveals that he's nothing more than Harry's imagination, which honestly wasn't that really hard to figure out based on the conversations and reflections early on in the film. The ape even knows about Harry's past, for God's sake.
The tantrum you threw the night your father left. It was a Thursday night. Your father came home from work and he took you out for ice cream. You had mint chocolate chip with rainbow sprinkles. He had an iced coffee. He told you that he was leaving your mom. And even though he wasn't going to live in the house anymore, he was still your father. Things wouldn't change between you and him. He'd take you to the ballpark, take you to the games. He dropped you off and he said, "Hey, champ, I'll call you Saturday at 8 to check in." It was 11:30. He realized he wasn't calling. He threw a tantrum just like this.
Who are you?
I'm the ape.
Yet, no matter how reasonable the ape is being, Harry can't take it anymore. He snaps and strangles the ape, or himself. But either way, the two are left still on the floor, with the camera backing away from this supposed murder, ending the ape. Aside from the Planet of the Apes series, you really don't see much primate movies anymore. And there's probably a good reason. I mean, space chimps. Does anyone remember that pool of piss? But for this film, I actually enjoyed watching it. I feel like it was somewhat charming to me personally. I am in no way considering this as a comedy. Some bits were good, but I barely laughed the whole way through. I do believe that there could be a blend between comedy and drama, but the jokes that were used here weren't all too great, with sluggish deliveries and just lame writing. What actually kept me intrigued through the whole thing was in fact the story, mainly because it resonated well with me and probably a majority of artists. Someone could just see this as a cautionary tale what not to do when pursuing a career in the arts. No one wants to be a Harry, and probably after seeing this film, I will always make sure not to let my life end up like Harry. As for the characters, Franco and the Apes stole the show. I liked the small performances from Kathy and Steve, but the movie made it obvious that they weren't the main focus. When it came to moments in the apartment, they were made fun and entertaining just to see polar opposites go at each other, and even more so in the second half when Harry finally listens to his wild side. And I genuinely hope whoever played the ape, Brian Laley, is doing good in life because his performance was great. He was given the best lines, the best supportive role, and remained likable through the entire film. I wouldn't mind an ape like that. He could eat bugs off my head anytime. But not that. I will have a restraining order prepared the minute he takes a dump. Overall, this was a slightly above average film for me. I don't think it's as terrible as most people say it is. Sure, you can flag it all you want for being a terrible comedy. I get that. I'll respect that. But the other half that promises drama is actually alright. The story is actually coherent enough. You are promised an awesome ape, and if you're a diehard fan of James Franco or just general stories about artists, I would recommend giving this a check. With that said, those are my final thoughts on James Franco's The Ape. And if you've seen it yourself, talk to me about it in the comments down below. I'm Katana, and I'll see you all in the next review. Take care, guys.